At last night's debate in Nevada, the candidates offering different visions of the presidency and perhaps more importantly of themselves. For more on that, Rachel Maddow, host of the Rachel Maddow Show on Air America Radio, who defined them pretty well and pretty fast during our post-debate coverage last night. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you too, Keith.
All right, so in different parts of the country, different parts of the political spectrum, the economy can mean investments, oil futures, price of gasoline, price of milk, different things. Values means different things, obviously, from voter to voter. Change means three different things to three different Democratic candidates?
Well, you know, every candidate from the beginning of time has run on the grounds that they're going to change something. That's what they do, left, right, and center. Bush has even admitted that if he were running for a third term, he'd be running as the change candidate. So the way you make it a compelling story is that you tell voters not just that you want to bring about change, but why you think change needs to happen and what needs to be changed in order for these problems that vex our nation to be brought around so that we're in a better place. And I think that Obama and Clinton and Edwards are actually identifying what needs to be changed in three really different ways. I think Hillary Clinton is saying the Republicans and Bush need to be out and the Democrats need to be in. I think that John Edwards is saying the special interests and the lobbyists need to be out and the people need to be in a populist way. And I think that Barack Obama is saying that he needs to be in because he can transcend the differences across the political divide right now. There's three very different visions of what you would do to the country if you had the reins. And I think we spent a lot of time talking about how different the candidates seem, and we ought to maybe spend more time talking about what they say they'll do differently than each other.
With this energy for change, this new sort of larger than usual, at least, energy for change among the electorate at all ends of the spectrum, seemingly, whichever of those means of change is considered the minimum, whether it's Clinton, Edwards, Obama. Is there any construction in which it would not be enough to energize the voters this fall and there could be a Republican actually presenting change as if there had been significant change from the Republicans more recently than 1980?
Well, I think it's going to be hard for a Republican to run on a change platform in the general. I think they can run on a change platform among themselves. That's amusing to see Mitt Romney run as the change candidate, for example.
I'm different than my father and mother.
Yes, exactly. Or John McCain running as the change candidate after having been in Washington since the Capitol was built. I mean, it's funny on the Republican side, and I don't think it'll carry over to the general. But among those Democrats, I think it's less that they're defining different quantities of change that they want to bring about. I think it's less that one of them wants to bring about dramatic change and one of them wants to bring about not dramatic change. I think what they're really saying is decide based on what you think the challenges are that really face the country. And it may come down to what the crucial issues are for the electorate heading into that election, what they think the topics are that are going to be driving that election.
All right, Senator Obama did not go to the degree of calling himself the decider yet. There is no link between him and George Bush, but this stuff about paperwork, about not being a CEO president, does he risk becoming another one, perhaps at the other end of the spectrum of the, I'd like to have a beer with this guy candidate? What does he do to prevent that if there's this idea of, well, he's going to be in charge philosophically?
Right, he's not going to be a hands-on guy. Yeah. Well, I think it's two different problems with Bush, that he has done a bad job running the government and that he seems likable. I don't necessarily think that those things are connected. I don't think he can't manage the government because he would be nice to have a beer with. And so they may be two different problems that Obama is skating between. I actually think it was a little bit of a gaffe on his part to admit that he's not that much of a hands-on guy, because we want to think of him as a scrappy guy who hasn't had that much experience in Washington, but has a can-do spirit and will really get stuff done. Finding out that he needs to be handed papers only 2 seconds before he loses them, I think was probably a bad admission, but not a fatal one.
John Edwards. There was a focus group last night, albeit done for Fox News by Frank Luntz, so that's 2 out of a possible 3 strikes right there. But they had him winning the debate handily. Clearly there is a window, may not be a wide one, but there is a window for him to erase this perception of it being a 2-candidate race for the Democrats. Can he fit himself through that window, and how? Well,
there's a lot of movement, I think, going on around perceptions of John Edwards right now. First of all, I think that not having Dennis Kucinich in the debate last night, while I think that was a drag, because I would have liked Kucinich to be in that debate, and a lot of people feel that way, it was to John Edwards' advantage that it was just the 3 of them sitting there. It made him look like he was of equal stature as a potential candidate, too. to Obama and Clinton. So I think that put him in good stead. I also interviewed a columnist from the Las Vegas Sun today, though, who said, you know, people are writing off John Edwards, and here in Vegas, it doesn't feel like he should be written off. He's surging in the recent polls, and he seems to really be resonating here, even though he's not going all out in terms of how much he's campaigning in Nevada. So it seems like the feeling in Nevada, at least anecdotally, is that he might do very well. We'll see.
Well, if anybody would know about odds, it would be a Nevada newspaper man. Rachel Maddow of Air America Radio. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, as always.